Coming to you live from the Pensado Theater at the all-new SAE Los Angeles campus, Pensado's Place is brought to you by Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Aftermaster, Isotope, Studio 202 DC, Avid, and The Recording Connection.
This week's show, chock full of ITLs. You're going to really enjoy this. We're on the road again. It's AES. Planes, trains, and automobiles, baby. You're at the place. It's Pensado's Place.
Hey guys, ITLs. Did you say ITLs?
I did.
Uh-oh.
Into
Special
the
show.
layers.
Special show.
Yep.
In fact, cards and letters. Let's keep this thing going. We should just have an all ITL day every day, right, Herm?
We can do whatever you'd like. Will that work?
No,
Okay.
I gotta have you in the show.
Okay, we can need some guests. And
People like me because they get me in little tiny chunks, you know.
We'll
I'm
work
like
through
pecan pie. You don't want to eat the whole thing.
I got you. We'll work through
Hey
it.
guys, a lot going on, and as always, Herb's going to explain it to us. All right?
Hey, gents and ladies, it is good to see you. Thank you for gathering. It's, our weekly foray with you is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're shooting in Dave's control room again because between Pensado Awards and Gear Expo and AES
And
and
Nashville.
on, we're just been rolling. And a surprise headed down the pike in about a week or so, correct?
Yes.
We've been holding for a minute. Lots of surprises coming. How are you? It is great to see you. You know our sponsors. They are just incredible for us. Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Aftermaster, Isotope, Studio 202 DC, Recording Connection, Avid. Just incredible folks who make sure this thing comes to you free each week. We thought we would talk with our friend Will and pull together some ITLs, some that are your favorites and some that are new, and let you have at it. We know how much you like it, and we love them too. So, incredible. Will's going to choose them. You did them. Introduce them.
Man, ain't much to say. Here's some of our favorites. Check them out. There's been a lot of discussion about the loudness wars. As you guys know, I'm not really comfortable with the term loudness wars because 0 is just packing more below zero than ever before, which gives the perception of it being louder, but it's technically not louder. In the digital world, if you cross zero, a lot of bad things can happen now. A lot of the great mastering guys can cross zero. I have trouble doing it. But what I wanted to show you today was we're making music for people to consume, and if we take our job responsibly, we want to give them as good a quality and as great a work as we can give them, but something that they would enjoy. That's the whole concept, is to give our audience music they enjoy, but to do it within the cost restrictions, the time restrictions, and the skill restrictions that we all have. So with that philosophy, sometimes I feel like I'm losing a little bit of transience when I dump a bunch of stuff into a limiter. So I started trying to figure out how to cure that. A lot of limiters don't give you control over the attack, but even if they did, I'm not sure you need it with this technique. So what I experimented with over the last year was, and I'm not the first, by the way, there's several people across the internet that have done this, and if I'm stepping on your toes, I apologize, but I'm clearly not the first. Russ over at ProToolsExpert.com with hyphens in between each word, he's got some incredible tutorials. Although I can't remember if I saw this on his site or not, but if I did, it was subconscious because I think I was doing this a long time ago. The minute that Transient by Waves came out, I was using it that way. So let me show you some examples of taking and enhancing the transients before the limiter, and let's see how that works out. See if we get anything on the other side of the limiter we like better. Once again, D Mechanic, the song D Mechanic, Jorge and Joaquin and Arturo is the song. Now here's the drum track. All my drums are feeding into this aux. It's kind of cluttered because I'm setting it up to show you several different things. And I'll explain these two scenarios in a minute. Now, I'm dumping all of this into ozone 5. Ozone 5 is really not a factor here, and we're going to do with and without so you can see what's going on. So my limiter, of course, that I love is the L2007 by Massey. Let's check it out without it. With it. Okay, now I'm going to take this off for now just so that we can get a feel for what we're doing. Now here's with. This is a very inexpensive, really good quality transient enhancer. It's called Bittersweet 2 by Flux, who makes some incredible products. So I'm gonna do one time through the bar without it, and then we'll listen a couple times with it. Pretty dramatic. I recommend you listen to this on pretty good quality earbuds or headphones or speakers. On my NS10s, it's very dramatic. Even on my R-tones and my laptop, it's actually dramatic. I'm cranking it way too much. I would normally run it about right here. Okay. Now, what about if you're doing maybe a rock song and you want to try it with a compressor? Works just as good, doesn't it? Now, I'm running a really slow attack time. Now, if I increase the attack time, it's going to have the effect of shortening the transients, which is predictable. The longer attack time sometimes makes it sound better. Let's see what happens in this example when we go to a quick attack time. Okay, so another technique is to use a slower attack time. Now that causes other issues to come into play that you might have to compensate for with your release time. Now I'm going to give you one other example of a commonly used plug-in for transient enhancement. Here's the Transx Wide. This is a setting I use a lot. Go ahead and pinch this guy. This is a setting I use a lot for my, of course you're going to have to change the threshold and the makeup gain. But this is kind of a starting place I like on the waves and on the UAD SSL compressor. So here we go, compression but no limiting and no transient enhancement. With the compressor, I think this is a little bit sweeter than the bittersweet. Let's try the bittersweet in the same spot. See if I'm right. Ooh, I don't know, bittersweet sounds good. It's just up to you. So there you go. Experiment before you get to the compressor, and you might try Transient Designer. You might try slight compression before the limiter. You can try, sometimes I'll try L2 before my ozone 5. You can actually see where it didn't work on this song, but you know, I told you I'd let you hear kind of a finished chain. Let me do that for you real quick. So I've got the ozone set with slower attack times on the compression part so that what transients I've added before everything gets there to the stereo bus make it through. Here's where I put my plugins. Real quick, a lot of you guys ask me, why do I have three things? Well, I like to record on this guy. Now this master allows me to have control over the input level going to this track. It gives me it reduces my potential to distort and to get crazy negative things happening when I get a dB or two too loud. And then if I were to put plugins here, when I brought this down, like the compression would change because it's actually controlling the input to the compressor. This way, I set this first, and then my compression doesn't change when I lower the level. Now, if I lower the level of this guy, then this is obviously going to change, but I'm -6, just to give me a little bit of headroom. You can tell I'm not really nuking anything too much. Just a little bit of distortion here is only about 0.5 dB, and actually kind of adds to the sound a little bit. So there you go. From time to time, as a mixer, I run into certain problems that I need to find a solution for. Problem's probably too strong a word, certain concepts. Now, at home sometimes when you're creating a track yourself, you might be faced with the dilemma, do I make this track sound like my favorite records in the 70s? Do I make it sound like it should sound a year from now, or should I make it be a hybrid, whatever? Well, recently I've been working on some new Earth, Wind & Fire material with my friend Neil Pogue and Larry Dunn and Philip Bailey. And I was facing the problem, I've got these horn parts. The horns are real, they're live, spectacular. I mean, they just give you goosebumps. Do I make them sound like they were from the 70s? Do I make them sound like 2013? What do I do? So I thought it might be instructive to take a look at two situations where, one, I'm trying to make the horns fit a group that's known for 40 years, and then after that we'll take a look at a situation where we want the horns to sound new and modern and not quite sound like they're older. So let's dive right in and see if we can get this conceptually. Now, this doesn't have to be horns, it can be anything, but let's do horns for now. Okay, this is what I was given. I'm gonna play you a little bit longer piece, then we'll focus on a shorter piece. Okay, so my decision now, first of all, what I want to accomplish with the horns within the framework of this song. And I'll play you the whole song in a minute so you can understand a little better what we're doing. But in this particular case, I wanted the horns to kind of be like a guitar part would be in a modern day song. Okay guys, let me show you what I was given. This is on the new Earth, Wind & Fire record. Okay, now this is what I did. So now let's dive in and see why we did it and what we did. So right away we notice that the horns in this song are carrying the weight of a traditional pad sometimes. Sometimes they're carrying a percussive element, a rhythmic element they're imparting to the track. And then sometimes they're like we said earlier, they're occupying the spot that maybe a guitar would occupy, a heavy sounding guitar would occupy. So in keeping with that thought process, let me show you what I decided to do. I did some heavy lifting with a channel strip. I tried a couple of things, and like the way life always works, this kind of gave me what I wanted. Okay, here's with it. Automatically we've picked the energy up a little bit. So now I wanted to get a modern vibe. I experimented with a bunch of stuff, and I like this CLA plugin, which there again keeps in line with our philosophy of whatever works. So here's what we had with only the channel strip in. Here's with the Chris Lord-Alge plugin. So throwing a little guitar vibe on it kind of gave it a guitar vibe. And then what I did here is this is just some little finishing touches to make it fit in the mix. So you just heard without it, this is with it. And then my new buddy, this Clariphonic plugin, basically what I'm doing is I'm adding some 800 or so here, and then I'm adding a little bit of 10K here, just to get the final modern touch to it. Okay, so let's check it without it. With it. Gives it a little bit of a polish, modernizes it, and then just a little basic compressor thing here. So now let's listen to the whole bad. Well, you know what? We've already listened to it. Let's check it out in the track. Okay, that's the percussive part. Here's the pad part. Now we've got the opposite situation or problem, if you will. We've got a really modern song. I played this for you once or twice before. I love this song. It's Casey Jones, produced by Jesse Owen Aston, I think is the way he pronounces it. Up-and-coming producer, really cool stuff. Here's inside the track what I did. Okay, if you'll notice, right off the bat, I don't need as much effects, different era, different time, and then also you'll notice different EQ. I like that the EQ isn't designed to make it be totally in my face. It's designed to, everything's designed to make this a part of the track. You could almost say that the fact that they were live isn't as important as the harmonic content, the notes they're playing, and the rhythmic part. It's there because the artist this particular artist has an alternative side to her, a pop side to her. She's got an artistic side to her. So these horns are there to kind of put these elements in her personality and writing style into the track. So we're not trying to overwhelm the track. We're not trying to make it sound like something from the 70s. We're trying to give an emotional feeling that I just described. So let me show you what I did. Okay, here's what I was given. Okay, here again, the channel strip just gave me a grain, an edge I kind of like. So here's with the channel strip. Without it. Okay, I'm in the red because I'm actually knocking off some level with a compressor, but I'll show you that last. What did we do? We added a little bit of super top, clear it up, a little more clarity, find it. Then here's some of our new, more modern frequencies we're playing with. 3K, 700, a little bit of low end. It's okay. We've got the spot for all of that. Now, all I'm doing is a little bit of limiting. A little bit of compression, a little bit of limiting to make it sit in the track. Now we don't want a whole lot of effects. I'm using a modern reverb, not a classic reverb, but I'm also using a little bit of classic reverb. So you can see once we get all these elements and we get our philosophy first, that's where you always start. You got to know where you're going before you jump in the car. Now let's see if all that's paying off. Don't listen for the sound of the horns. Just listen for what they make you feel and how they sit in the track. So they mirror the tom feel rhythmically in one spot. They become percussive, and then they become a little synth part in the little longer notes. So what have we learned today? Listen to the part, listen to the song, listen to the instrument, the type of part it is, and then figure out what it needs to do within the context of the song, the production, the emotional feeling, all of those things we discussed earlier, and let that be your roadmap and your guideline on how to proceed once you start mixing. And this concept should be applied to everything in the mix, not just horn parts. Okay?